Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Actress Life. On tonight's show, we have Senior Production Manager Chunjee Bell in the building, giving us perspective from behind the lens. Then we have a very special roundtable discussion, more of meeting of the minds this evening with a very talented and well-rounded artist here to tell us about how his training has assisted him in the success of his career. And later we have another fabulous Limelight performance. Trust me, you don't want to miss this one. And it's all going down right here, right now on Actress Life. Don't go nowhere. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another installment of Actress Life. I am your fabulous host, Shamaria. And before we get to our guest of honor, I would like to take a moment to discuss set etiquette. Now, every professional on set, whether in front of or behind the camera, play a key essential role in the success of a project. Your role is to perform. And when it's your time to perform, make sure you're in character and you're ready to deliver when the director calls action. Also, make sure you're open enough to take direction and to make adjustments as necessary. Now, in the production process, it's a lot going on and it's a lot of room for mishaps to happen. Just make sure you don't happen to be one of those mishaps. It's not a good look. Tonight's guest of honor has worked in production for many years. He is a senior production manager for a major network that will remain nameless. Chunjee Bell is here in the building to give us perspective from behind the lens and also advice on how you, the actor, can help the production process along. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our production manager's perspective. Tonight's guest is Chunjee Bell, a production manager, and he's going to tell us all about his experience in film and television. And how long exactly have you been in production?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. Mm-hmm. My career has been about 13 years.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I've been blessed to work with the same company. I've been relocated from city to city, but I've worked in the same company in a bunch of different roles.
Wow.
And also, I work on things outside of my day-to-day, passion projects and things of that nature. So, I've had a lot of different experience in the realm of being a producer and a production manager, and that's been my career. I mean, I started as an intern.
Oh, nice.
Yep,
okay.
Started as an intern, then got a job as an admin, which I was a terrible admin.
Really,
and
like
decided,
that's not
you know what, I think this is better for everybody if I choose another career track
Right.
rather than trying to support somebody else's career track. But,
Yeah.
The next step for me was production coordinator,
Okay.
and then after that, it was production manager. Now I'm a senior production manager.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been a good ride.
Wow. What is it that you love the most about your job?
To be honest with you, I love all aspects of making a vision into a reality, taking somebody's creative and to be able to manifest it, to me is really what kind of does it for me in my current position. You take an idea, and an idea is such a beautiful thing. It's so raw, but, there's a million different interpretations of it. And then there's another million ways to try to get it to where you see it on a screen.
Right, right. So as production manager,
yes.
What exactly are the details of your job? What are your responsibilities?
Okay, so to be brief and to be general, we're in charge of, and this can vary in different structures. I work in a promo department, so we're doing promo production in the short form. But for the most part, it's keeping budgets, timelines, schedules, and making sure everything delivers on time, on quality, and on schedule.
Nice.
And financially tracking everything, making sure clients are happy, making sure that resources are allocated properly, that producers have what they need, that everything is tracked, and everyone's happy with the end result.
In your line of work, you work you have to put these projects together in very short amounts of time.
Right. Right.
And that's a lot of pressure. It is.
It can be.
Like, so how do you guys handle that kind of pressure?
Preparation is so key to this whole entire process. You know, when you consider the phases of production, you have pre-production, and this is, again, overgeneralizing, but you have pre-production, production, and post. And you're vastly impacted by how well you present your plan and the types of different contingencies you build around your plan. Because in production, nothing exactly goes to plan. There can be catastrophic and or, you know, seriously significant deviations from the plan that you have to deal with and figure out as you go. Or it can be little things here and there that, you know, can grow into bigger things down the road. So, you know, yes, it can be frustrating. But I think the professionalism, the professionalism is what sets certain people who are successful apart from those who need work. And so, you know, that's something that I try to focus on as well.
Right.
Professionalism and also authenticity. I believe you can do what you do and follow a path, follow best practices, follow guidelines and processes, but still be yourself and stay true to your own values, which is important to me as well throughout my entire careers and throughout my life.
You know, I'm glad you were bringing up, especially like with being authentic, being yourself, because as an actor, that's a very, very important thing for you to not try and as ironic as it may sound, try not to be somebody else.
Right.
You know, that's kind of what you do. I pretend to be somebody else. But
well,
you know, it just great acting comes from truth, not from, you know, trying to put on air or trying to be something that you're not. And
my response to that is just, I have an amazing respect for actors. I have no idea how you guys do what you do. I have no talent in it. I don't know how I could do it, but I would imagine that it means a connection to whatever you're trying to represent, as far as, you know, stepping out of your personality and your name into a role.
But it's like you were saying, it's a team effort also.
Absolutely.
Because like in being prepared, you know, on the production side, like I know you guys are worried about all these different things, like all these different elements. Okay, you got the production plan. We got to stay in budget. All right, we got a time limit. All right, we have to get all this done. Like, and especially when you're filming a project, it's like, okay, what time is it? Okay, all right, hold on, we got to. Okay, well, see, we were gonna film that then, but okay, well, look, we're gonna film something else now. Okay, we're gonna film that later. Okay, wait. You know, it's a lot.
A lot going on. It's a lot of adjustment. It's a lot of flexibility. It's very fluid. You know, and a lot of things can ruin your day. But, you know, there's a lot of things you have to get right in order for your day to succeed. So, you know, you just want to try to mitigate the challenges, but also, you know, stay fluid because they're going to pop up. And, you know, part of production management, too, which I don't think I really touched on earlier when I was sort of generalizing what I do, is you're tying all the moving parts together. You know, you're working with, you know, everyone on the pre-production side and creative and the talent department and the finance department and the legal department to draw up contracts. Like, that's a part of our daily pre-production plans and status, you know, getting things ready. Then when you're on set, you know, it's a whole different beast. You're dealing with crew and you're dealing with space and you're dealing with time and logistics and people and actors and keeping everybody happy and answering questions. You know, there's a lot on the fly that happens on set that's completely different from your pre-production mode. So you kind of got to be on, you know, whole time. And, you know, it's in that respect, I feel like set is such a pressurized environment because everyone's got to be prepared and you only got one shot most times. So, you know, and with short form, you know, we're doing things, we don't have a whole season to do retakes and reshoots. It's like, boom, you get it or you figure out how to explain why you didn't get it. So, you know, that's part of what we enjoy and have come to learn to accomplish in our daily set lives.
Nice. I know on these sets, I've heard quite a few times that time is money.
Yes, it can be. It can be.
Yes, and I think as actors, the main reason why I invited you on the show to speak about like behind the scenes is because a lot of times actors don't really think about behind the scenes. It's like, okay, is it my turn to go? That's it. Okay, is it me? Is it my turn to go? When do I go? All right, you know what I mean?
Right.
But you also have to remember, like, I want, the audience to remember, like, when you're on a set, like, it is important to understand what's going on, to have a sense of flexibility, like you said, to be prepared, like, know your lines, because, like, they're counting on you to go ahead, do your part, so they can get the ball rolling on everything else, because, we can be a hindrance too.
Yeah, and I think definitely actor preparedness is definitely something that can affect the outcome of your project and your budget. But, I think it goes back to what we were talking about being a good partner.
Right.
And being able to think about what someone else's situation is like. So if you're an actor that, you're not really caring about what anybody else's problems are on set, you might not be developing the best reputation of being good to work with. Yeah. But if you are, you don't necessarily have to have directorial or DP skills, but if you understand or try to understand what their plights are, you can be nothing but a better partner to work with. And I think that's the important takeaway, is that, if everyone, and that's to us what set synergy is like, when everyone's like trying to do their best because they know that how they do affects the rest of the team and the greater group, I think everyone can only benefit. Right. So, yes, but a bad a bad actor is just as bad as a bad crew member, and just maybe even possibly more visible. So the other thing is, a lot of jobs in all of production and on screen as well. You get referrals and you get word of mouth, and if you're great to work with, people will share that, and if you're not, people will share that even more. Yeah. So it's something to think about, I think, from an actor's perspective. I've been blessed to work with some really great people, and had a lot of great experiences. Have had some difficult ones, but many more successes than failures.
One last thing.
Sure.
What words of encouragement do you have for, like, up and coming artists, or like even those out there watching who want to be in production and, like, have a passion for it?
Right.
Like, because it's I've been behind the camera too, and it's a lot of pressure. It is, and it's difficult on that side as well. Like, what words of encouragement do you have?
I encourage anyone to follow your heart. You're probably going to do or try the hardest at something that you're really behind, that you really enjoy doing, that you really feel like it's a worthy cause or like a worthwhile endeavor. So stick to what you love. Do it with authenticity. Give it your all. Like, don't give up, but be realistic.
I thank you.
I see the wrap it up sign. So
for coming. Your perspective and your experience, your knowledge is, like, so valuable.
Thank you, Shamaria.
Not just actors, but, like, to others, like, who want to be in production, who want to be in production management. I'm telling you, it's going to help a lot of people. And I thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much. It's been an honor to be here. I appreciate you, and you're one of the people I've had great experience working with. So I look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for our roundtable discussion segment next.
When I got the calls for auditions, I said wait till they get a load of me.
I ain't never did no crack before now, but I had to make it seem like I had to make it seem like I did for this audition I had now, I took a hit right before this audition, and
I am a serious actor that takes every role extremely serious.
My job as an actor is to tell the truth. That's what being an actor is all about, is telling the truth. You can't tell no lie and call yourself an actor. It just doesn't work that way. Can I get an amen? Praise be his name. Praise be his name.
I needed to let them know that I was crazy. I even spent a couple nights dancing throughout the cemeteries. Tell me something. Have you ever danced with the devil on a pale
Mm-hmm. But I ain't never did no crack before that. I promise you, I ain't never did nothing before that. That was the first time I ever did anything was like that before. But when I did it, boy, yeah, when I I did it.
They were beside themselves. I was the shepherd that led the flock out of the darkness and into the light. Not only was I the light, but I was the answer and the truth that they needed. Can I get an amen? Praise be his name. Praise in the name of Jesus. Yes, yes, he will save you. I'm here to save my shepherd, my flock.
I had to show them that I wanted the role so bad that I would die for it. So I died.
I booked that role. Yeah, I booked that role, but then I got fired right after that because I stole this red cam. I had to get something for that hit, and production checks. They was just taking too long to come, and I had to do what I had to do. You know.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our meeting of the minds. Tonight's special guest is Timothy Ware. He is a Broadway actor, and he has had great success in both film and television. Welcome, Tim.
Thank you. Thank you
so
very
glad
much.
to have you here.
It's an honor to be here.
So I know you had like a great deal of training.
Yeah.
And of course, there's a multitude of natural talent that you had. But how has your training assisted you in the success that you've had? Because it's led you to get a role in Kinky Boots.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think training is very important. Mm-hmm. I started performing at a very young age. Mm-hmm. I went to a performing arts junior high school growing up in Montgomery called Baldwin. And there I studied dance, show choir, and drama, and also creative writing. Nice. So I found love for the arts then in junior high school, and I continued my training in college at Alabama State University under the direction of Tania Stewart. She's done a lot of film and TV, known a lot for her role in The Heat of the Night.
Yeah.
So that's where I got to dig into a lot of my craft as an actor and a lot of my craft as a dancer. And I continued my training after Alabama State because people often ask me, should I continue going to school after I get my undergraduate degree? If I go study theater in undergrad, should I go to grad school? And I always tell people, you have to ask yourself, did you get everything that you need to give you a solid foundation in your craft that will give you the courage and the tools and skills to get out there and actually try to create a living, have a life, make a career out of performing. And for me, I really wanted to get stronger in the acting portion of my life. So I got accepted into the MFA acting program at UCLA. I continued to study there. I studied there for a year. It's a 3-year program. I studied there for a year because after the year, I felt like, okay, combined with the training that I received at Alabama State and this single year of training at UCLA, I'm ready to work.
Oh,
I feel like I
alright.
have what I need. So took a leap of faith. Everyone thought I was crazy. I left a
Right.
full scholarship at UCLA
wow.
and started working.
Now, you also create your own content,
Yeah.
particularly A Taste of Chocolate, which has, you created it like some time ago, but it has proven to be very successful for you.
Yeah. A Taste of Chocolate deals with it takes place in Montgomery, Alabama. I usually start with home because
Well, alright.
you write from where you know, right? It takes place in the town when a young black kid is shot by an unarmed black kid is shot by police officers. So the temperature of the community is heightened. It's Montgomery being the home of the civil rights movement, the bus boycott movement. They're used to these sorts of race relations, how it has affected the community. And when this happens, the poet Coffee is thrust into position by his friends to lead a peaceful protest movement to protest against the killing of this unarmed kid. Coffee's issue, though, he's afraid to take on the mantle of leader because he's afraid if they find out his secret that he's gay, the entire movement could fall apart.
Wow. You have another project out right now called the Pride Project.
Yes.
It's very interesting.
Yes.
I love it.
It's my new baby right now. It's a lot of fun.
So tell us a little bit about that.
The Pride Project, it came out of A Taste of Chocolate. It's all of the characters have their journey, and each journey deals with the pride of something versus the shame of something. With the Pride Project explores that. They are 7 poems that came about by me asking the cast, give me a list of 3 stereotypes that bring you pride versus 3 stereotypes that bring you shame. And so these cast members of Asian, Hispanic, African American, and white descent gave me these essays. And from the essays, I created the 7 poems.
Oh, wow.
And the series called The Pride Project.
Nice.
Which you can find on Facebook and YouTube under Timothy Ware.
Right. You better shout that out, okay?
You have to. You have to.
You know, something that is so deep to me, like you, and I feel like, you know, artists should deal with a lot of social issues. And I feel like as artists, we do have a sense of social responsibility. You have like a lot of public figures, like a lot of entertainers who are like, oh, I'm not a role model.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, you are.
Yeah.
You are an example to someone. And, you know, I like the fact that you do deal with like issues that society doesn't really like to face head on or like to just admit that it's a problem.
Right. Somebody has to say something.
Right.
Because somebody else needs to hear it.
Right.
Somebody else needs to see it. Somebody else needs to be encouraged or have their mind changed or to feel safe or to feel not alone or to feel human or to be put in check about their own actions towards other people.
Right.
So somebody has to be the voice.
Right. But it's just a part of who you are.
It's a part of who I am.
And I think a part of that is to, and an important thing as an artist is to know who you are and to embrace that.
Yeah.
You know, and to be open to a journey, like you said.
Yeah.
Like the journey of your characters. And something that I try to push with this show is it's the importance of following your own journey.
So I always tell people, and when I tell people, I'm ultimately telling myself, I'm reminding myself, because I need to be reminded.
Right.
keep your eye on your prize. Keep your eye, stay on your track, stay in your lane. You know, it's like driving. They say don't text and drive.
Right.
Because when you look down, when you take your eye off the road and you look down, you have a tendency to veer off of your path. And when we stay focused on our goal and our achievement, when we stay on our path, then we have a tendency to get exactly where we need to be. It's not always where we want to be, but it's usually where we need to be.
Right.
And you really have to ask yourself, and you have to be honest with yourself about it too, because it's not for everybody.
It's not. That's just the reality.
That's the reality of it. It's not. And you have to dig into your truth and be honest about, is this what I really want to do? Is this all I want to do? Is this the thing that drives me? Is this the thing that gives me life? Is this the thing that brings me joy? And if it's not that, if there's even a little bit of it that's like, I enjoy doing it, but then...
Or I like it.
I like it, but...
Now you gotta be more than I like it.
It has to be, because I like it is not enough.
Right. Right.
It's not enough for what the world is going to throw at you. It's not enough to survive that.
Right.
So you get a lot of people wasting their life with I like it, and sometimes if it's an I like it, then you need to figure out what you love.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be this.
Right.
If you're an actor and you like acting, but you love the arts, then figure out where in the arts you fit in.
Right.
Where in the arts can you find love?
Right.
You know, at this point in my career, I like acting. I don't love it like I used to, but I love writing. And it keeps me in the arts because I love the arts. I've always loved the arts. So it keeps me there.
Right.
Because now I can hear my words, I can see what I write on actors who love it.
Right.
And it all works together. So it's important, you know, if you stopped loving it, find what you love now. Maybe you're a casting director now. Maybe you see something in other people and you say, I'm always able to pick out an actor who's, or, you know, maybe you're a producer. Maybe you're the one who helps create the productions to make sure that the art and the artistry continues on.
Right.
So that's a long way around, but that's how you stay on your path, your journey. You do have to stay focused, and you have to be honest about what it is that you want, what it is that you're right for. You know?
I thank you so much for being here. I was going to ask you what words of inspiration do you have, but I mean, I think that says it, like right there. Like, you can't like it, you have to love it.
You have to love it.
The most important thing is being honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people aren't honest with themselves.
No.
And then find themselves in so many different situations, and it's like, well, how did I get here? It was because you following all this fluff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like fluff. Like that's what you say. But like, you know, just unmasking and really
getting
saying,
to the truth. Yeah.
Right. And that is the most important thing.
It is.
But thank you so much
Oh,
for being
thank
here.
you very
This
much
has
for
been
having me.
a wonderful interview.
Oh,
Thank you
it's
for being
been my
so
pleasure.
open. And guys, you definitely have to check out A Taste of Chocolate.
Yes.
And the Pride Project. It's on Facebook.com, Timothy Ware. And you have it on YouTube.
I have it on YouTube as well.
Yes, on YouTube. What's the YouTube?
Just Timothy Ware's the channel.
All right.
WARE.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Definitely. Same here. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for our Limelight artist.
Silent before the jury. returning no word to the judge when he asked what I ought to say against the sentence. Only shaking my head. But what could I do to people who thought that a woman of 30 years old was at fault when a lover of 19 killed her husband? Even though she said to him over and over, "Go away, Elma. Go far away. I have murdered your brain with the gift of my body. You will do some terrible thing." And just as I feared, he killed my husband, with which I had nothing to do with before God. Silent. For 30 years. And the iron gates of Joliet swung as the silent trustees carried me out in a coffin.
On the next #Actress Life, casting diva Yolanda Hunt gives insight from the casting side. Actors Charlie Hudson and Denise Johnson talk actor mishaps, and another thrilling Limelight performance from our Limelight artists.
Okay. Yeah, I hear you. What'd you say?
This train